Hello everyone, I am Elevate. Welcome to the channel. This channel will be all about elevating human creativity with AI. So today I'm going to show you a little bit about my process, and through this I have a task that has been given to me by a local restaurant called Richmonds, and for them I'll be creating a couple of social media posts featuring their waiters and waitresses and delivery men as in the Ghibli style. And what we'll be doing is we'll be generating the images firstly, and then we'll be fixing them up because, as we all know, AI tends to make some mistakes. And so now I'm going to be showing you the process of how to correct those mistakes and how to come up with almost perfect art in a really quick way for viral media posts. So let's get right into the video. So firstly, as you can see here, I have a couple of images that I've created, and let's just have a look at Rock, because that is the platform that I use to create these images. So here is an example of the prompt that I'd used. These are the original photograph images, and I just use a very simple prompt. Turn this image into Ghibli style, make sure that the colors are close to the image attachment, keep the waitress's facial likeness and hairstyle the same. Keep the waitress's shirt color the same. Enhance the colors to be more beautiful and eye-catching, optimized for Instagram. So I just used that same copy and paste prompt for all of the images, just so that I could get an initial image that looks pretty good. So you can see obviously there might be some issues, like for example in this case the Ghibli style is mostly using Asian people as the references, so of course it's going to be sometimes maybe not coming out as the correct kind of person. So I just made some adjustments here, saying the waitress is African, she's wearing a headscarf, and that was hopefully going to get me some better results, but in this case I felt like it didn't quite do exactly what I was hoping for. I do find that Grok doesn't tend to do very well with corrective prompts thereafter, so that can sometimes be a bit of a difficult issue. So it is more ideal to try and get the best possible result that you can get from the beginning. But anyways, this was the first step that I took, and I could have used some other platforms like Midjourney, for example, but I did try that before, and it seemed to me that Midjourney was making some results that were kind of too complex and too detailed. So in this case I found that Grok was kind of doing the right sort of thing. I just wanted a simplistic cartoonification of the people in the images and the scene. So then we can just have a look at some of the images that I have prepared, and these are some of the original images that obviously need to have some repair, and there's some issues here, like the hand looks a little bit strange, and overall the quality of the image is maybe a little bit low. So those things can all be fixed up, and I'll show you a bit more about that later. This is the image that I'll be working on today. And of course there are some issues like with the hands. Typically AI does seem to have a trouble with understanding that hands have, you know, 5 fingers and all, but that is not necessarily a problem with the method that we are going to use, and I'll show you more about that as well. Here's a few more of those images. We can see we'll be working on those a bit later. And yeah, so then basically I just got to take these images and put them into Krita. Krita is an open source program, so that means that it is totally free, and you can donate to the developers, but also what's great is that because it's open source, there are many plugins that can be used to put into the program, which you know, paid for platforms like Photoshop do not allow, of course, because that is their own closed application. So in this case, what had happened a little while ago was that a developer wrote code for an AI plugin, and this is the plugin that you can see over here, AI image generation. And firstly, there is a couple of different models that come standard, but I've also loaded a couple of other ones that I was playing around with, trying to see what I can do with that. And you can have a look at Civet AI, for example, to go and download some other models that have been trained already by some other contributors. But in this case, what I've often found is that the digital artwork one pretty standardly works quite high quality, in a high quality manner. Some of the other models may suffer a little bit from having too few parameters. So what you'll often find with those ones is maybe they produce the style quite well, but the quality of the images might not be so good, because it doesn't really have enough images that it's been trained on. But the digital artwork model works really well, because I think that it's quite a high quality model. So we'll be using that one for most of my work at the moment, digital artwork. So let's have a look at this image and see what are the problems. Over here we can see that she only has 3 fingers over here and a thumb, so she's missing a finger, and we'll need to address that. This bottle also looks like it is kind of floating off of her hand, so we'll need to fix that too. And the countertop is kind of going through her hand, or between her hand and her shirt, so we're going to be working on that a little bit too. Some of the other fixes that I need to be aware of, because my sister, the manager at Richmonds, also already went through these images, and she told me a little bit about what she would prefer to see in the image, so we're going to reference that now. So for this one, we need to put her Richmonds logo on the shirt, and we also need to put a name tag that says Carlin, and we are going to change this label for the bottle to be something kind of generic to do with strawberries, maybe like strawberry spirit or something like that, because we don't want to reference other logos, so we're going to change that. Alright, so now I'm going to get into the process, and let's begin. Firstly, let's start off with the selector, and I think I'm going to start from the bottom area. Usually I find it's easier to work from the back and then come forward basically. So in this case we can see that the countertop is going through her hand in a strange way, and in between her shirt. So basically we need to just select this area, and I'll select this area. No, I think we'll leave that one for now. We'll just work on this area first. And basically what I need to be doing is I just need to kind of show the area of her shirt and see if we can get the AI to kind of understand that. Okay, and that roughly looks like the kind of shirt that we are going to want to produce. So in this area here, we're going to add in some text, and I'm just going to use very basic instructions for the AI. I'll just say something like golf shirt. And then we're just going to add a little bit about the style. So here we have the strength, and basically if I do 100%, that means it's going to be kind of more wild and creative and closer to what the model thinks it should produce. Whereas the lower that I go here at like 11% or even 20 or 30%, this area is going to be closer to what the image is. So we need to find a balance between getting the model to give us a good result and also staying true to what the image is truly trying to represent. So So normally I find that this range can sometimes work pretty well between 40 to 60%, so I normally work within that range. But it requires a bit of testing to see which one's going to be the best fit for the image. So in this way there's a bit of creativity as well. Okay, so we've got our first generations here. It did a pretty good job on some of them, I think. It's not too bad. But let's see if 60% might do a better one. So now we can see how 60% can sometimes produce some strange results that maybe are not as optimal. So I think we'll try to stick with the 50% range. I'm going to go with this one for now, but we'll try to keep on working on that. Okay, and that is the end of our edits for today. I hope you managed to learn a couple of things about my process. Please do keep in mind that I do have Fiverr and you can make custom orders as well. I'm also building up my Etsy and a couple of other platforms that I will be adding onto my YouTube soon. You can also follow me on Instagram and TikTok. I have a couple of platforms open there, and I'll be working on adding more and more content as soon as I can. And last of all, I'll be showing you a couple of the before and afters so that you can see the full effect of the difference between our original AI generated images and thereafter with the beautiful touch-ups. Thank you very much for checking me out and have a great day. And I forgot to ask, please like and subscribe. Thank you.